Okay, so it's 2:20. And it's just been pouring and pouring and pouring. This is when this big storm's supposed to come in. Yesterday there was a bunch of wind and stuff, and it's so weird because everything looks weird to me. Everything just looks so weird. But yesterday, when I first started seeing them blow, it didn't. Oh, I can't even explain what it looked like. It didn't look like trees blowing in the wind. It looked like this. It looked so different than what it was. And then it's like I have to focus back in or something. Like it's like in your mind to know that that's not right, and then have to refocus into what's right. Kinda like I don't know. It's like there's definitely a breakdown in the matrix. There's glitches or something. It's like seeing through it, or it's not really there, or something. I'm not even sure. Like, and this, whatever it is that they are dumping on us, is fucking with my stomach. Oh my God, I cannot believe this shit, man. It's this burping thing has started again. Only it's not just like burping. I can burp. No, it is like this before before you puke, how you start that burping thing. It's like that. And it's constant. Yesterday, it kept doing it to the point where I had the hiccups and it was going back and forth. And I was just like, what in the fuck, man? And I don't know if it is whatever, they dump on us. That doesn't mean every single person in the neighborhood's going to have the same symptoms. See, that's the thing. Is especially because so many people are from different places. But like in my case, I had my gallbladder taken out when I was 20 years old. And so now knowing the damage that that does, which is also trippy because my mom, it was genetic. This is the thing. Everybody gets on the, well, it's just genetic. It's in my family. We all get them out. It's like, man, they've suckered us, man. They have suckered us like a motherfucker. So so but my mom, she has had so much serious stuff since then. She has had to have so much, she had to have a complete restructuring of her whole digestive system or something at some point. And I don't even know, like other people's stuff. She has definitely had a lot of issues from her, which to me, it all goes back to the gallbladder. Then once you start hearing these doctors talk and about all that. Oh, yeah, which by the way, if you remember, I don't know all these people's names. It's the doctor who broke the news on the, oh man, you got talking code, and some people, the couple of you who listen, that you may not know about this part. What had happened was, because it was like back in 2020, and it had to do around the things that was sticking out to me was nicotine. And that is a hot topic right now too, because it's not only the cure or the anti-venom, but it is also right now they found it cures something else. I can't remember. It fucking cures something else. And so that's why they want to keep it out of our thing. When they were telling us all these people were dying from it, they were dying from something, but it wasn't what they were telling us. They were doing something, I mean, they've been able to set up this whole aging thing. So, like, these people are pretty advanced. The So, and this is a habitat, like, and I don't think people just get it when you tell them. It's just always, especially, me talking. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a crazy person. But yeah, this is a habitat. And so, and it has multi-level. Like, I hear all these people saying different things, but it's multi-level. Like, I just heard somebody else talking about the prison, how it's a prison system for so many people. So there really is people, as I know there's been, I think, Elegant Witchery in the comments. there's been people in the comments who have talked about that trap, it being a trap. And so there's people who got trapped here at certain times. And I don't know, because that is just, it's not my thing that I understand. In the about So I hear people talking about it though, and I just heard this one guy talking about it, and he said that it was so like I said, they man all these different realms. So all these realms, like you think you're going outside of here, but you're still in here. And so it's vibration. It's like I don't know. It's like you're at the nucleus of the vibration. You can only go so far out of it. And so and then that is where you got to go through portals, and it's like we can't be in this reality. And man, some of this stuff is hard to explain. But like you can see it. That's the thing, is like when you see the things are shown to you on a level of your understanding. And so you can see things and understand them, but trying to communicate to them, it's way easier if I could just take it and put it in your brain and you could look at it and be like, and then you would see and you would understand. But there's just a lot. There's so much more complex of this place. And so, because there's lots of souls coming here that aren't getting trapped. And it is also, it's like an education, it's an advancement. And so there's a lot going on. It's like this is a mecca or something. Like there's a lot going on. And so the people, no, it wasn't the people, it was the aliens. No, it is weird how the people look at God, it trips me out. Like, when I hear people talking, it just trips me out. Like, just on the soul telepathy thing, there's just so many things. But, and the guy who I was listening to talk to, he is a government trained one. Like what happened to me just naturally, where they just started talking to me and I started listening and talking back with them and stuff like that. And so I'm good at talking with telepathy. Like I've been doing it since I was a little kid. And it wasn't something I had to be trained in. And he was talking about that they all had to be trained in it. See, that's the thing too with the Corey Good. That's what they were looking for in school, was those of us that didn't have to be trained in it. But that's why my guides were keeping me hidden, because I was supposed to come out later. I was supposed to come out now and tell you guys what they're saying, not what the government. I wasn't supposed to be a part of that. I was supposed to be a part of this. So, but anyways, I spent years in my training because I've always been talking to them. It was so natural to me. I just thought that everybody did it. It was a part of when my puzzle went together. I'm seeing like, oh my gosh, I live very different than other people. Like, wow. So anyways, but he was talking about that they ought to be trained, and he's talking about the communication and what they are telling him or what they've told him and stuff like that. And so he was talking about the prison thing, and he was talking about one thing that is clear, and I've said this and said this and said this, and so I'll say it again because he was saying it, but you are your soul. You aren't this thing that you think you are. And the soul is who you are. The soul is the energy. It's like the light. It's this essence of you. And it is like, it creates a hologram effect almost to create an illusion of a being. It's not real. And it has to be in this density. And in this density, then we get to have feelers. We get to feel what it feels like. And so there's like lots of different things why people come and stuff. But so he was saying that there's a lot of people who got trapped here in different lifetimes and stuff. They got trapped here. And that's one reason why all of these aliens and these other beings are all getting involved, because it's this liberation. It's, to separate us from the ones who have been in control. And that's why all this messaging and stuff comes down and people like downloads and stuff like that. But it's all in telepathy. So they're communicating with us. So you're getting information, you pick up on it. And you have a vibration, and you have certain other beings out there on your vibration that are communicating with you. And so you have, but see, that's where people have to open up to it, and you have to decipher through the language barrier and in the translation. And then you see, and that's where you have all these people who just went straight ass into channel, like they start telling everybody all this stuff, and they don't even know who they're talking to, because I don't know, I've had years of deciphering through who you're talking to. And so, and these people just all of a sudden they wake up and they hear somebody talking, and it's like, hey, guess what? I'm psychic, I'm channeler, I'm a this, I'm a that. And they don't realize, like to me, that's like more than just, I'm sure it's more than just Daryl and Bashar, but Bashar really exposed himself, as far as I'm concerned, that he isn't of the higher mind. He's more of the control mindset. So, and there's beings out there that are policing us. So, and that's the same thing with the archangels and shit, supposedly. So anyways, this guy, this government one, telepathy guy who's been in communication with them, he said that the people have been trapped here in different lifetimes and stuff, and so that they would die, go to the light. Once they get to the light, that they're met by other beings that start telling them what they could do better. And to me, like when you go in here, all these NDEs and stuff, it's not like that. To me, I think, but everybody's got their own thing going. That's their thing. That's why, I can't say, oh no, that's not for sure. You got to listen to yourself. In your own work and your own stuff that's going on. Nobody knows each individual stories. Our fucking stories are so complex to our own selves. There's nobody else who understands your motivation and what you're doing and what you're supposed to be listening to and understanding and stuff. So don't get caught up in what other people think and stuff. Just, focus on you and what it is that you are here to understand about yourself, because that's what everything is about. And so so he's saying that they would go up there and then they would be met by these guys, and then they would start telling them like, oh, you could have done better, you should have done this different and stuff. And then that gets them to just go right back in. And but there's more to it, because that to me, it seems like this is always the vision. What I got is like, that's the confusion when people die, that's where they can get them, is at that point. Because once you start understanding stuff spiritually, then, you wouldn't be confused. But when you come out and then they get you in your confusion, but that's, So anyways, but we're advancing past this. This is liberation. So souls are getting released. Oh yeah, and this guy said that we are the being, the soul. So it shouldn't be just like it's our soul, because we are the soul. So it should be more like, this is my representation or whatever. But I think I've tried to get that across to you guys, like that you are the thing that's inside of you. And the more that you connect to that, and that part of you is connected into your higher mind, your higher vibration self. It's like your safety. It's like your, I keep seeing, what is that thing called? It's like that light, the inner tube thing that they throw to you when you're in the water drowning. That is, I can't think of what it's called. Life ring, it's not a life vest, a life ring thing. But it is, when that thing, that's your connection to your higher self. That's like your life ring. your safety ring, whatever. It's your connection to your higher mind. And so you, that, that is what is a valid thing. But that, see, this is the thing, is what they're doing. Like, even with this woodpecker agenda or whatever they called it, of trying to interfere with our thoughts and stuff to be able to control our mind and to keep us disconnected from ourselves, to keep us disconnected from each other, and keep us disconnected from our reality, basically our natural state of being. And so they interfere with that. I've been saying that this whole fucking time I've been talking, and it's like I can hear the interference. And so and then I hear all these people, "Oh, I've got anxiety," and then you start telling people about, you know, the talking or whatever, and they're just like, "What are you talking about?" So then it's like, oh, so they can't hear it. It's not like they can hear it or understand that there's a conversation going. They're just feeling tension because of all the noise. It's and then people don't realize, because they're so disconnected, because people think that they are literally this. They literally judge each other on that. They hate themselves over it. They hate their body. That is because it's your lessons that you're here to learn. So when you hate your body, believe you me, I fucking know. And it's when you hate yourself, it is a part of you learning how to love yourself. That's why I keep saying it and saying it and saying it. And there's so many people out there who just hate themselves. They hate their bodies. They hate their face. They hate their nose. They hate their hair. They hate their eyes. They hate their teeth. They hate, oh, look at my tooth. Let's look at it. Like, oh, look at that, dude. Peel like that. Like, it is, it's like, this is, yesterday would have been week 3, right? So 3 weeks is where we're at. And I swear to God, well, I know that there's pictures, but that was a big freaking chunk out of my tooth. And it was so raw. And the hole looked just so big and deep. It looked like, fuck, man. Like, it was intense, especially when I would feel like then I was like, fuck, man, can I do this? Can I do this? Fuck. And, but, you know, I always have my cheering section. You can do it. And so, it's so funny. My cheering section is, people like, there's no wonder people think I'm insane. So anyways, but all the orange part, but now I totally see, like, the orange part is the connective to, that's what we need. We need that healthy part. And then for it to be orange, and then for them to want us to bleach our teeth, it makes me think like, and I don't know, maybe we all have different shades in there, just like we all have different shades of us. So different shades of our dentin or connective tissue or whatever. But for them to want to go in and kill it and stuff with bleach first, the superficial thing, everything's so fucking superficial. And everybody's so stuck on superficial. Just blows my mind, because somebody looks like they look good, that doesn't mean that they're healthy on the inside. So many people do not. Even these people who just want to be skinny, they just want to be skinny. They're not just trying to be healthy. It is like, if you want to be skinny, you know, good, but it isn't, because I think that we should all be as close to our frame as possible. I just have always thought that. I don't think we're supposed to go way off of our frame. And so depending on the size of your frame, you know, but you got to do it in a healthy way. You got to be healthy about it. And just being scrawny is like, you're losing all this muscle mass, especially as you get older. And if you aren't, it's not just, like, if you see this one woman who, I think she's in her mid 70s or something, and she works, her garage is turned into a gym, and she is so fucking fit, and she doesn't look like one of those women that looks all like, "Rawr." She doesn't look like that at all. She just looks fit, man. She looks so freaking good. And she doesn't look scrawny. She doesn't look just like skinny. Like when I see the other lady, now when I look at it, I see so different. I look at it so different. Like the one lady who looks all healthy, I don't know that she has very much gray either. It seems like she might have some like me, like right up in here. I haven't seen one of her videos in a couple weeks. I was just thinking about this yesterday. Um, but she has real long hair, is down to her butt, real thick. Like I think that this lady is like, she may be Mexican or something. She's like that kind of like color range. And so she's got this long, thick hair, and she definitely looks Latin. And she is totally fit, totally rocking a good body. And then when I look at the other one, the one that has all the silver hair, who was like, I like my silver, and I was like, yeah, but it's a mineral deficiency. And then now she's got the osteoporosis. That's it. Like, just think of how that goes right with it. As soon as these women start getting gray hair, all of a sudden they got the osteoporosis too. Like, what's next? What's next? Death? Like, once you run out of all your minerals, what's the next? Like, and they're just draining us, and people are just like, yeah, but I look good. I just put a little hair color. Like, so and another thing too, when you're just trying to be skinny, it's not your body doesn't want you to be starving it. It doesn't want you to be in deficit. It doesn't, like, I mean, I eat honey and cookies and bread and butter, which, oh yeah, I didn't finish about that one doctor, because he has said another thing now with the salt, and he was talking about the water before and that other stuff. So if you don't know about it, I'll just tell you more about it, because you got to talk so much in code about those stuff. And but now he's talking about this, all these studies, that the more salt you have, the lower your blood pressure. Well, if you guys don't know about that, they sold that so fucking hard on everything. Commercial, it was so fucking sold hard for people. It was in the movies all the time. If you got high cholesterol, high blood pressure and stuff, keep away from the salt. Anything that's going to damage your heart. Well, it's the complete opposite. What every single thing keeps just unrolling is being the opposite of what they told us. Unroll opposite, unroll opposite, every motherfucking thing. So yeah, you need to eat less salt and fat. And what am I always? I'm always saying I'm always drawn to fat. I'm very drawn to fat, and and fat is super important to us, and our brains, I was just hearing this doctor talking about our brains are made up of cholesterol and how important it is to feed it or something. You can go in and listen to these studies and translate them in your own interpretation, but that is a cause for the Alzheimer's. See, is like how they do this through diet. It's not just the poisons in the motherfucking shit. It's the complete misleading you of how to eat. And on top of it, keep away from the iodized salt. But if you add in the mineral salt and you add in all that stuff, see how much healthier you can be? Like all these things that they tell you, oh, you got to take this pill and that pill. And the reason why, because the one doctor was talking about the studies on the salt thing, and they were trying to put it out into the medical journals and stuff, and the people who fund them, the Heart Association or whatever, said they're pulling their funding. Well, guess who that is? Yeah, the ones who have all these little magic things for us. So because it's all this espionage, it's all this whole fucking thing. Like, it is so fucking corrupt. Like, I don't even know if it's gonna show all that. I've seen it, just it's so much in our movies and stuff. It's so much, it's been shown to us, like, but I don't know how. There's just so much to disclose. Like, I don't know if they're gonna disclose how big this weird espionage, weird fucking world that we've been living in, and we're just sidebar. Like, so we're all expendable. We don't matter. We're all expendable. They don't give a fuck. They'll walk right over your goddamn grave. They'll leave all these fucking graves just laying out there in the middle of the fucking road. They don't give a fuck. So, I mean, all these people right now, it's weird because it's not even the real people. Most of them are just fucking people in masks. Who is it? Oh yeah, Prince William now, or is he king now? I don't know, but he's got a new face, and when they show him from the side, it looks like a mask going across his ear, and people are like, "What's wrong with his ear?" It looks like a Halloween mask. Like, it doesn't even look like a good one. Like, they're doing this shit on purpose, man. So, anyways, the doctor who had said, oh yeah, okay, so the cholesterol, so all these things, like you need the butters, and we need better fats. That's one thing too, is where they started telling us, oh, olive oil, get olive oil. But really they were putting like car oil in, like, I don't know, they're giving us seed oil or something that's really bad. So they were been, they're, the whole fucking thing, they're just constantly trying to kill us. The whole fucking thing. And then you got all these people who buy into it and stuff, and then they just go superficial and shallow. And there's these girls who they what is that called? It's like starving their body. So it's like your body needs something, and then you're like, no, you don't deserve it. Fuck you. God, I hate you. Why do you ever want to eat? And then so you're mean to it. And your body is here to teach you things. Like there's a reason why we're going through this. This isn't just, so the people who hate, there's a lot of, when you just see a skinny girl who's just thin skin and bones, I'm talking about, as there's a lot of these. There's a lot. And right now it's going to go even more into that, because it's going to be a huge thing. And people need to know that it's not just about, what is that called? Like violating yourself. It's very abusive to yourself to go in one direction. The other direction is going towards loving yourself. So you just love yourself. You want to treat yourself right. You want to have the things you like. You want to learn in it. And that doesn't mean like, well, I really like cheesecake, so I better eat a whole cheesecake. No, it's learning how to also monitor yourself, not to just consume, consume, consume. I need more. Where's more, more, more? Because then you're trying to hold down that pain that I was talking about in your lower chakra, because you need to notice like, oh, I don't need any more, because we are so stuck in consumption. Like that beans video, man, it just keeps going. And everybody wants to talk about beans. Boy, I'll tell you, everybody wants to talk about beans. And, but the person, what was this one? Because I was just about to say that, what was it? I can't remember. But anyways, back on the thing with the ladies and the skinny, because then when I start seeing them, like, and there's no muscle mass, like your body is losing muscle mass if you don't work it out. So if you don't go and do it doesn't have to be going to the gym, putting in a gym. It just has to be some kind of a daily workout thing, that every day you get up and you do movement. And then I think if you have a very sedentary lifestyle, especially like mine right now, in fucking dead ass winter cold, and you're trying to stay away from all the poisons, and you're just kind of sitting in here watching movies or crocheting. I'm still waiting for my yarn to get here. And then so when you're just trying to find, oh my God, and there is some good treasure. The crocheters on TikTok, I am so, I am such a novice. I'm such a beginner. These people, they don't even have to look. And they're just sitting there. There's a kid who was fucking all day long. He's fucking just crocheting all this shit. People are crocheting these whole outfits. It just don't even have to look. Just sit there. It's like, oh my God, I'm taking out stuff. Like, oh, what the fuck, man? I want to buy their shit. That's what I'm talking about, is like that there's all these people who are really becoming really good at stuff, and I'm like, I want to buy some of their stuff, man. They're good. So, so anyways, so when I was looking at these ladies out, and then when you're not doing any kind of exercise or anything, your muscles they are deteriorating. That's like why when you, that one simple exercise to sit down onto the ground, which I, think probably the majority of you can sit down on the ground Indian style without having to use your arms. You could just sit down Indian style. It's the getting back up that is a challenge. And it's so trippy too, because I had noticed this years and years ago when I was sitting with my grandkids on the ground, and they just pop up like that. And this is back before. This is back when I fell and cracked my head open and shit. And So I was like, how do you do that? And I'm like trying to, get up. Like now I can do it with, I'm way better. Like, I'm not as good as like a 9-year-old, but I can still do it. Now now they're more teenagers. And I've said, can you still do that? Nope. They can't do it still because we stop doing some of these things and then we lose those muscles, all these little activities like, and then we just continue to lose more and more and more and deteriorate more and more and more. And as we deteriorate, not going out and climbing around jungle gyms and shit, that we get told we're aging, and they don't tell us the significance of like, oh no, we're meant to hang in trees or something. We need to get out there and fucking do some work. We need to get out there and move around. Otherwise, we just whittle away. And then plus with them starving us and poisoning us every motherfucking day and telling us to eat the wrong goddamn thing. And then anything that they tell us is good for us, they turn it into something bad for us. Like it's like, this place is such a challenge, man. And it's challenged on all different levels because some people are just challenged to try and become rich and famous. Like, and they just want to, their whole drive is just, there's so many people on TikTok, so many, and it's so weird because so many of them, it's just like lip syncing. It's like they don't even have, are going out and putting on a dress and spinning around and showing how good you look. And it's like, oh my God, that's superficial. Our world is so fucking superficial. It's just insane. So, this place is, but this is the part that's breaking free. I mean, that's why if you're real attached to all this fakeness and superficial part, it's gonna like, you're gonna feel it when it's ripping apart. It's gonna be part of like your lessons, and it's not to shame you or anything like that, but anything you feel is meant for you to feel it. And so there's a lot of superficial shit, and there's a lot of people that are tied into it. So don't feel bad. Like, don't feel worse about yourself, because that's the big problem, is everybody just beats themselves up. And see my stomach, look, the gurgling, it has been insane how gurgly my stomach has been, where I just feel like, man, they are just dropping stuff down that's just attacking. But also, like I said, because of my not having a gallbladder, I feel like that is a weak point. So I'm going to have an effect that maybe the neighbor, like I could be talking to her and be like, oh, are you guys having the stomach problems? And her be like, no, we don't have any stomach problems. But they all have their gallbladders and shit. So anyways, that's what I'm saying about that. So you can't necessarily deny how you feel because somebody else doesn't feel it, because we're all individual. We all have these, we all have just different DNA structures. Like everything about us is different. Our blood types, our hair colors, our skin colors, like all that stuff. So it's everything is, you are unique. And so however this stuff affects you, it could be very different than other people. So you got to just pay attention to your own self and not worry so much about everybody else. I think like everybody's being affected in all different things. Like I think there's people who are losing their minds over the noise. I think there's people, it gives them so much anxiety. I think all these different problems are coming to the surface and people don't know how to deal with them. People are like everything that we have, everything wrong that we've been taught, yeah, is coming to the surface and showing. And so there's like a big switch. The big switch is to start doing things right, start taking care of yourself right and stuff, which is, it's a healthy lifestyle. And it's not one where you deny yourself things and punish yourself for wanting, a piece of cake. How dare you, you fat ass. People just like rip themselves apart. And then they think like if they have one bite that they'll consume the whole cake. Well, then that is probably your challenge, to learn how to, have a whatever amount. Like everybody's got to figure their own thing out. And you can register it and figure it out, because your body will show you. If you're eating way too much, your body's going to show you it's getting bigger. And then you can be like, oh, I don't want it to get bigger, so I'm going to cut back a little bit here, a little bit there, and see how that goes. And just like cut a little here, cut a little there, until you get to where you want to be. But, and sometimes if you indulge, don't be mean to yourself, because being mean to yourself is going to put you into these, I don't know, cortisol dopamine battle or something. So it's going to send you out of whack. You can't just be being mean to yourself all the time. But then also this whole movement, because you have a part of the older women group, like my peer group, that they are going two different directions. They go for the fake aging routine, like I'm just going to color my hair, hide my gray, and do my retinols and get some fillers and go to the gym, do a class, and and wear cute clothes. And then you have the other one that is all the different ones I see. A lot of them wear a lot of makeup. The silver. There's still a real huge phoniness in this silver. But they all think that they are just like empowered women now because they are living their silver. They're living their truth. They're being who they are meant to be and loving themselves. And really, most of them, it came out of frustration of coloring their hair, and it got to be too much because it kept having so much silver. So they were like, fuck this shit, man. I'm just going to have to let it grow in. And then they started letting it grow in, and people started telling them, oh, I love your hair. I love your hair. And young girls started trying to color their hair silver, and all these older women started being like, oh my gosh, I've got such beautiful hair. And a lot of it, too, with the gray hair and white hair, it gives you more texture too. Once it gets to be white, like my part where it was really, really white was becoming like cottony. So it's almost like it just draws all the minerals out, and then it just kind of shrivels away. It just goes away. And the gray, but it gives a lot of texture. So these women have these like lush, giant silver manes of hair. And, but it will keep deteriorating and deteriorating, but they get really into how great their hair is. So then when you try and talk to them and tell them, like, your hair isn't graying because we're aging. Your hair's graying because you don't have any minerals in your body. And they're just like, it's so foreign to them. They just think you're talking nonsense. You're just jealous of their beautiful hair. It's like, no, I used to think, I was letting mine go like that for a long time. And mine was not, mine was like, when I let mine go, mine had like tiny, it was less than this. It was more like about, I was just putting like streaks in my hair, like highlights or whatever. And then you get too many highlights, then you do low lights. So I was doing that, but I would get this part colored. Except for with number 4, he was always like, he liked dark hair. So I did, when they would do that color thing, they would always put the highlights and low lights. So I had a lot of color in my hair. And so I would have this just done with the darker part. And so it was just a tiny bit. But then it was, mine wasn't that noticeable when I stopped. It wasn't that much. But there was constantly people like, oh my God, I love your hair. I love your hair. And it was just not even that much. And all these other women started telling me, I'm going to let my hair go. God, it looks so good. But I know that a lot of the women who come in with these full-on silver hair is because they got so tired of the roots, because their roots would come in so often and be this white streak. And so then they had to start letting it go. I saw one woman on TikTok who did it, and she couldn't stand it. Once her hair got to be the whole thing, she went back to dark. Excuse me, ma'am. Can you finish, or can you wait until I finish? And so some women don't like it, and then they get really defensive because they take it as everybody's telling them they look old and stuff like that with their hair, and I love my hair, I love my hair. It's like, I'm talking on a different level. I'm telling you that aging isn't real, and your minerals are being drained from you, and you're going to have osteoporosis. And that other little lady who just proved it, and she because she's super little scrawny, little tiny lady, and with the silver hair. And then she does all of those retinols and all of that stuff. She's always talking about that on her thing. that that's how you age. That, you know, you go do this and you can do that. And you can this makeup trick and that makeup trick and all this stuff. All this is trickery, all this magic. When it's like, you can just go start taking care of yourself. You got this lady over here showing you you can fucking make a rockin' body, like rockin' body in your 70s. And you can also turn your hair back. You can grow your goddamn teeth back. Like, there's all this stuff when we have the right formula, when we got the minerals and stuff. That's why they don't want us to see how fucking and it just is so weird too, is because it's like an energy interference, because it's like a misleading, because as soon as you know what you can do, when you start doing it and you start seeing, like, I can try and convince these people all day long, nobody's gonna listen to me. Aging isn't real. Okay, crazy person. And it's like, nobody listen. Like, it doesn't matter if my hair was silver and I've turned it back. They don't give a fuck. It is like, you know, I know, like, you don't like yourself, then just keep it to yourself. It's like, I'm trying to tell you. This is another thing this was getting me to the other last night. I was thinking about this because when all this bullshit started, you know, right back, especially when I was getting kicked off next door and stuff, anything I would say about like these things and all that bullshit is I would constantly be told that I didn't even understand science. You don't even understand science. And I'd say, well, that's funny because my degree is in science. That's what it says on my fucking diploma. It's in science. And so I have a degree in science, so I think I fucking understand it. And these people who don't have any fucking scientific knowledge, and you try and tell them, and it's like, who told you what science is? Go take some goddamn science classes. And then they would tell me that I was a liar. I can't even tell you how many, like, I'm trying to talk sense into somebody and they're just arguing with me. And then it comes down to, you know, I don't understand science. I said, well, I have a degree in science, so I think I do. And they'll tell me I'm a liar. You're just a liar. It's like, well, maybe that's how you live your life, being a liar, but that's not how I live my life. I wouldn't just say that. Why would I just say that? Fuck. I don't understand people, I swear to God. So, man, I'm all over the place. Let me think back where I was. But anyways, so some of these people, when they just have skinniness, because that was one thing that that woman has said. She said now she realizes like that she wasn't exercising, that she should have been exercising, and she's well, she was still doing things about sitting and drinking the wine, which all that stuff is going to, like, if you're just sitting and drinking wine every day, because this is something that they really pushed, especially on women. It really pushed on women. Oh, just sit and drink wine. Or drink wine with your friends. Have wine. Everybody get wine. And then it became almost like a joke. And women are going around with giant wine glasses. I've only had one. And I was in the same boat. I was in the same thing. One of my kids even got me a glass that held a whole bottle. And it was like a joke, you know. It's like nobody takes it serious. It's like a completely normal thing for a woman to, you know, have a couple bottles like sitting around, and it's like a part of our society we've just accepted. Like, yeah, I mean, have a couple glasses of wine, who cares? And but doing that every day is so bad for you, so bad for you. And believe me, I did it for, I don't know, a year or so, when I was maybe 2 years. But I right away, I'll start feeling like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. So I think it was probably in different periods of my life being with an alcoholic. I think I have had some periods of time where I drank consistently, but it was in short periods of time, because I'll start feeling like shit. And plus, you can't be hanging out with a drunk and drinking with them, because all they want to do is fucking fight. So it never works out. It's just always, that was my whole thing, even when I had my birthday, my totally embarrassing drunken birthday thing. And I just kept going around and saying, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. Because I was so fucking fed up with being with somebody who every motherfucking fucking day it was about them. Every fucking day was their drunk ass bullshit. And it was to this point where it was like, can I have one motherfucking day? One motherfucking day. I just can't believe how bad it was with number 3. And I still went with number 4. It was like, I'm telling you, it was rock bottom. It was like, oh my God, Kelly, how far do you have to go before you pull yourself out? But I couldn't see. I couldn't see at all. It doesn't matter how many people are sitting there telling you. You can't see, you can't see because, you're supposed to live it the way you live it. And then once you get out of it, then all of a sudden you see, and then you're like, boy, everybody else saw way before me. Like, what's wrong with me? But those are your lessons, and you can't be hard on yourself about it. Because everything is about learning how to love yourself, I'm telling you. But there is a big difference in just aging and covering it up and trying to look good in this superficial, well, if I can look good, then I must be good. No, you have to be putting in the effort and into your lifestyle and stuff. And drinking every day is not going to be healthy. It's going to affect your liver, which is going to affect all of your other organs, your brain, your blood, your breathing, all of that shit. And it's very toxic. It's like, what was that one too? Is it a beer? What was that one? I think it was a beer. I don't remember what it was, but it was something we drink. And here in our country, in America, in the country I live, is they put in an ingredient, like when you go read the ingredients, one of the ingredients is motherfucking, that's stuff that you're not supposed to, antifreeze. Some of them have like formaldehyde and shit. And we're drinking that. Like, it's fucking poison. And you're just drinking it every day. Well, I want to feel good. I want to, but it's fucking poison. So, and it's going to affect you. So, it can't just be like your daily lifestyle. I mean, it's one thing, like if you want to go and, oh, I want to go have a glass of wine with my friend, but if you're doing it every day, you've got an excuse. Well, I want to go have a drink. I want to have a drink with them. And then you got to start looking at your lifestyle choices. You got to start thinking like, is this becoming my lifestyle? Because it's going to affect your health. And you're not going to like the effects of it. And it's going to sneak up on you. That's the thing, is it sneaks up on you. And you create the addiction. And you create it in, it's kind of like lifestyle choices can create addiction. But also the need to hide from your past. So you don't want to think about it. And then when you get drunk, you do more stupid shit. Like, man, that time when I was drunk and it was on a trip in Mexico, oh my God. And I was just like, it's my birthday. Because I wanted to have one day that was just mine, but nobody knew what the fuck I was going through. Nobody knew, and how fed up I was with this fucking drama of this fucking drunk guy. And, him... anyways, we all go through things. We all go through hard things, and it changes us, and we have to be willing to look at it to change it. Like I could have stayed, just keep going and arguing with people. I'm doing the right thing. It's them. It's them. And there's so much of that. Like people always think, well, it's the other person. I'm fine. They're just weird. They do this, they do that. And we don't realize, like, we're triggering that in them. It's a back and forth. We trigger something in them, they trigger something in us. And then we're just triggering back and forth. And we are both blaming each other for how we're feeling. And that's the range of the vibration that we're in. And so, yeah, two unhealed people are just triggering each other back and forth, pointing fingers at each other. It's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And the distance grows, and, there's no real bond except for what we're here to learn from them. It's not meant to be like, oh, well, we're supposed to stay with them forever or something. No, people just come in and out of our lives to teach us things. And, to me, there was more to my lessons, there was, I don't know, there was a sense of ownership or something. There was a lot of, marriage proposals. Like, it's just like, I don't know. We all have our own things to get over. And, you know, and mine had to do with boundaries and stuff. Like my stuff had to do with boundaries, learning how to love myself, learning how to, um, go with the flow. That's been a big one in my life. Going with the flow, having boundaries, and learning that I had value. And what's crazy is learning that I have value, then there to be this whole situation to play out into the world to show me that, like, fuck, man, nobody listens to me. Nobody. And then when you know, like, it's just, I don't know, you just, there's all these lessons, it all goes together. And so it goes, it's like it's been going your whole life. It all has links to your lessons and stuff. Once you start seeing them, it's like, I don't know, it's like finding the gold or something. Because then you know, like, what you're working on. You can deal with that better. Like, every time something comes up and it's with boundaries, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I know what I'm doing with it now. And or going with the flow. You know, I mean, I completely get that one now. It's like, yeah, you just got to go with the flow. Things are going to happen the way they're going to happen. Trying to sit there and figure out how to make it happen the way you want it to happen and try and control it, that's just driving yourself crazy because you can't do any of that stuff. And so then you're living your life driving yourself crazy. So then you got to think, like, is this how I want to live? I want to live sitting here trying to force things to happen, especially when you have no chance of forcing it. It's like, you know, that's like trying to one of these giant boulders and going and trying to push it uphill. Think, well, I know I can do it. I'll use my mind. I'll make it happen. And you sit there and struggle and struggle and struggle. And, you know, I don't, the only way you're going to make that happen is if that's what you're here to learn, how to roll giant boulders up the hill with your mind. And I know there's a lot of people who are all in this. It's like they want to jump out of their lessons because there's so many lessons. Like they don't even want to look at their own things that bother them, but then they want to focus on these, you know, magnificent skills. It's like you got to go to basics first. You got to go through the basics. You got to go through your healing. You got to go through facing the things that make you feel sad. But they all just want to jump right in. See, that's their ego drive. And that is why so much of this stuff that's going to happen, so many people, when they woke up, went straight ass into ego. And did not even realize that you're here to find balance with your ego. And they just indulged into their ego. So many. So many. The awakened, the chosen, the this, the that. So that will play out in a way. And there's a formula. Everything's a formula. Everything's a template. Everything has its way it's going to go. Yeah. Yeah, because then I was just seeing the way water flows. And when we were walking yesterday, we did the long walk yesterday. And there's been so much, fuck, I can't even tell you, like my driveway in the middle of the night, I swear to God, it looks like you could go swimming in it. And the one duck that's over there, he goes out in these big puddles in the street and swims around. He's so cute. But but when I was walking, I was like seeing these like drain things like going down and making like a whole cave, like a like a cutout in the ground going down into the drainage part of the ditch, you know, like how you have your neighborhood and then everybody has these like lower spots that's supposed to catch it. My driveway goes down more low. Luckily, my house is up because if my house was low like the neighbors and my thing was low, my house would be full of water. Because mine is up. So, but my yard, my driveway goes down because all this water is rushing down from up there. And so in these other people's things, when we were walking, I was seeing like it was just cut right through. Like it looks like somebody is actually going out and cutting. Like it was like, man, this water is strong. It's just cutting right through. But that is what they were showing me was the way the water flows. It has its own flow and it has its own you know, it's going to cut right through it. That's the way it's going. Oh yeah, because at my mom's place, that was a whole thing too. Like she bought her property, and she lives out at a place called Long Lake. When she bought her property, it was way out. Then after she got hers, then all these millionaires and shit went out there and started putting up these fucking fancy ass fucking houses, and all the lake, because they always take all of the water property, and who knows how many of them are fucking CEOs. But anyways, but when there was something with the water, and something with the water, and it was gonna go right through her house, and she had to have some argument or something to have the city move the thing to make it go a different direction or something. But the way water flows is just going to go, and that's how we have to think about the energy. The energy is going to flow, and like right now when there's just so much, it cuts through. It just cuts through wherever it wants. But it is but the cuts don't come from us sitting there like, oh, I'm gonna cut it through, I'm gonna cut it through, I'm gonna cut it. No, it comes because it's got its own motion, and it's way more of hold on, you're on a ride, go, hold on, because it's going. And so we are going. She's on the move. She tries to talk to me through her sounds, I think, but her favorite is whining. Honey, what is it? Why don't you come over here by me? Do you want more medicine? Or you're just hungry? It's 3:15. There's a many a nights that's when she eats. Okay, Stella, hold on. Do you want some medicine? What is it? Here you go. I'm almost done, but you need to come and sit down or something, because you gotta let me finish what I'm doing. Here's our medicine. So anyways, but the water is like the energy. It's just gonna pick its direction. It's gonna go in the movement, and that is why we have to be so much more in the flow. Oh yeah. What did I say? Can you come over here by me? I don't sell it. You just want. Man, I was about to say something right when she did that. Hold on, let me think what it was. The flow. God damn it! So I swear to God, they do that on purpose. Attack me somehow or another every time. What was it? Stella, stop! Stop it! Bet your ass if I got up and went, she goes directly into the kitchen because she wants a treat. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. What are you doing? Stella, I'm doing this. You come over here. Just come right here. Just come right here. Oh, the one that popped the other day, it's growing back now. These fucking things, I don't know what the fuck they are. Toxin things, I'm sure. Okay, Stella, just come over here and let me finish what I'm doing. She runs this show. I'm telling you, she's so fucking bossy. But there was something I was gonna say. Okay, so moving the flow of the energy, it's gonna go in its own direction, and you've got all these people who I don't even know, man. There's so many groups of people that I just hear saying things that don't make sense to me. And there is who is that? Because now I got this other guy coming in my head. This guy who's talking about this thing that they're about to do, open Lucifer's door. They're doing it on Christmas and Hanukkah are going to be at the same time or something. But he was like, Jesus is coming. There's a whole group of Jesus is coming, which I think that there is no savior coming. There is nobody who can take away your choices Nobody can take your consequences for you. It is it follows you. It's like your jet stream. How is somebody else going to come in and take your jet stream? It's yours. It's your energy that you're putting out is going to follow you. And so, and so many people don't realize that. Like there is going to be the mass amount of dog slaughter that is happening, and how this is going to hit these people when the lights come on, man. Is you can't take that away. And they're gonna be, oh yeah, that's what I was. Okay, yeah, because they're gonna be hit with the impact of what they've done with all these other souls, because these are souls. And yeah, it was last night. It was the weirdest fucking thing. This fucking thing with the eyeballs. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't even know how it links in, but yeah, this is weird too. Okay, so on mine, so I was laying there last night. Well, it was yesterday afternoon, really. Is once it goes dark, then the dogs are asleep. The dogs start going to sleep like a 4. So I'm like, fuck, I'm going to sleep too. And so whatever it was, I was laying there, and this one was weird. This one I have not experienced before. And so it was like somebody was coming up to the side of me, but then it was like right when they got right here, all of a sudden their eyes came in. It was horrifying. And they were the same fucking bright ass blue eyes. So fucking bright. And it came right in, right like, whoa! It was the weirdest fucking thing. And I jolted up and I opened my eyes. And then I was like, fuck, man. That was intense. And so then I start to shut my eyes again. Eyes, eyes, eyes. And so I open them again, and then I shut them again. Eyes, eyes, eyes. I'm like, motherfucking shit. And I'm like, open my eyes again, and I'm sitting there just keeping them open like, fucking hell. Like, what in the holy fucking hell is going on? And I don't know. I think it was, sometimes like, I spend that time, like I try and connect to this other person and like talk to them. And so I think I started doing that. I think I just turned on my side and just try to focus on them and pull myself towards them and talk to them instead of these going out into the great beyond and just having eyeballs coming at me. The other thing that was I was gonna say was there's this woman, and she is sharing these videos because of her kid, and he's is he 1 years old? Like the 1-year-old who just got by his dad with a. It's fucking goddamn. People are so fucking crazy. But you gotta remember these are different little stories. But anyways, I think this kid, he's no way is he 4. I don't know how old this kid is. In the range between 1 and 4, and he is drawing these pictures. I think he was telling her at first. She said he's keeping her up all night talking about the eyes in the sky, and they're coming for us. And so I don't know if she told him, we'll draw pictures or whatever. So, but anyways, he's been drawing pictures. He's got all these pictures. He keeps drawing all these eyeballs in the sky, and that they're coming for us. And so I don't know. I don't know what the deal is of how I'm having these eyeballs and the stuff that people are seeing in the sky and stuff. They're, and they're like, oh, it's angels and stuff like that. And to me, it's like, these are, our true form. These are other beings and stuff. And there was one that was looking at one through a telescope or something, and he could see a face in the middle. And then there's other ones that look like eyes or something. I don't know. But those are all just different beings. They can come in different forms and stuff. But the eye thing, I don't know if it's like, because in my going into the astral and having all these eyes, it definitely seems like they're trying to pull me into something. It's very aggressive. It's not like, it's very aggressive. It's not like beings just coming to, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it is. Like, it's very weird. Especially that one when it came up, because always when they're coming towards me and I realize like, oh, eyes, I open my eyes, but this one came up fast, man. And then right when it got there, it was like trying to get my eyes in their eyes or something. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And And so, fuck if I know. I have no idea. Like, I just know it's weird. And there's a lot of weird shit happening. A lot of weird shit. And so anyways, hopefully we're close to whatever the fuck is going to go down in the sky. But you've got such a range of what people think is going to happen. So many people think, we're about to be in this big war and be battled and stuff. That's where I think it's where things switch all of a sudden. It's like we're going towards this giant war, this giant battle. Everyone's on the tension and or the edge of their seat. The tension is building, and we're going towards it. All of a sudden, it's like boom, and it switches and it turns the other direction, and that's what like everybody's like, what the fuck just happened? That is more like what the energy is going to be when the lights come on. It's like all of a sudden it just flips. And that's where everybody's going to see the consequences to their choices. Like, because all these choices that these people are making, and it's not just about following orders, that there's no excuse. Like the universe is going to be, oh, they told you to do it. Oh, okay. Well, then don't feel bad. No, the universe is going to leave you on your own. You're going to have to feel your own shit. And believe you me, you're not going to, them telling you to do it, you're going to be, that will be the thing that's going to eat you up. You're going to just keep going, why did I do it? They told me, but why? Why did I do it? Why did I go and do that when they told me to do it, when I didn't want to do it? And, there's going to be a battle. Everybody's going to go through these fucking internal battles when this all goes down. And they see the parts of them that were hooked into this artificial, superficial thing and stuff. Like, I'm so curious about, like, with all these silver-haired ladies, like, when it's going to all of a sudden come together for them. Is it going to be in a group where all of a sudden they realize, like, fuck, we're just letting ourselves die here? They all going to all of a sudden realize, like, oh, well, I don't have any color in my hair. Now I don't have any porosity in my bones. And when it's doing all of that damage, it's more. And then they're all just like, oh, well, get veneers, get fucking all of this stuff. It's like, or you can take care of yourself and do minerals and learn to love yourself and accept yourself and stuff, and your teeth will grow back. And I don't know. It's just a very different from the phoniness. Like, you got to pull free from all this superficial artificial world that they have created for us, because that's eating us up. But that's the thing, is like so many of these souls enjoy it. They choose it. And that's the part, is like this awakening is like to see how does this transformation occur. And so I'm curious, like I'm totally in observation about this. I'm so curious how this is all going to play out. And there's something else. Something else about the money thing. There's something else about the money thing. And I don't know. I see all these videos. All these people are like, we're about to be invaded by a lot of, like, there's people on the edge of war. Like, that they are sure we're about to be in this big war. And oh yeah, this person was saying that the BRICS is going to come in and attack us. Well, to be in the BRICS, you have to be, it's a peace treaty. So it's like the BRICS, and it's not going to come and attack us. It's all a show, and it's a show to get the people to see, so that the people can understand, because it's already going. Like, this is already, that's where we're headed. And we're going into this Jubilee. Oh, that's what it was. This one guy was saying the Jubilee year starts on the same day, Hanukkah and Christmas fall on the same day, which is the Jubilee, which is also when they're going to be opening Lucifer's tomb or something. I don't know. There's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of shit. And, I mean, yeah, you just have your head spinning from all this shit going on. And then they're hitting us with storms and sicknesses just out the wing, man. Just constantly. So, that's another thing, though, about having to learn how to take care of your health and choosing a healthy lifestyle. And so many people are so indulgent into attention and, yeah, a lot of spending. Because so many people are in that fast forward fashion trend thing, keep hurry, buy a new thing, and it's expensive. That's why one reason why you can go to thrift stores and get so much new stuff is because people wear it one time. And so distracting. I swear to God, it's all on purpose. I swear to God, it's like I feel so under attack. Like you're trying to go to sleep, eyeballs are coming at you, and they're coming out of the sky, I guess. So I don't know what's going on, but when it starts being like the things with the dogs, it's like I know that they are doing something to push and interfere because they can do weird shit. Like they can fucking throw shit in your throat. Like I don't even know how. It's like all of a sudden something just goes in. But and you know another thing I was thinking about yesterday is all these women who don't speak up for themselves, and everything starts like I swear to God, it's why their mouths start becoming like dry, like mummified as they age, is because they don't speak up for themselves. Instead, their mouths just start to close and wither. The also the throat chakra, when they are not speaking up for themselves or standing up for themselves, they also, there's so much thyroid disease and thyroid cancer and stuff. So all of the disease and stuff, and I'm sure that is why I have scars on my throat, is because I wasn't speaking up for myself. And so I carry the wounds from the not speaking up for myself. But I even on my mouth is I feel like the same thing was happening. Like it was going smaller and smaller and smaller. It was like disappearing. Then all of a sudden I started speaking up for myself and I started being like, God, I got a big mouth. And then it starts becoming bigger. And it's how we see ourselves. There's so much of how we see ourselves is how we see ourselves. And that's why you got to break free from this being so down on yourself, because then there's like such a beat down on yourself, and I don't know how to distinguish this, like to get people to understand. It's something like you got to just see. And at this time, you know, we're in the opening, the doors opening, our minds opening, information opening. And there's so much information. There's so much. Oh my gosh. But but definitely, there's, the biggest thing is that the people thinking that they are their bodies and focusing on their bodies and not realizing that they display, there's just so much of that stuff. Oh, you know what happened yesterday too? This was weird. This was so fucking weird. Okay, I'm gonna go after this. It was so weird because I'll have these weird smells come. But yesterday I was in the kitchen. Okay, so I had wood on the fire, and then I went in the kitchen and I was making tortillas. And so I'm standing there making these tortillas. And I'm not that great at it yet, but I keep on trying. But anyways, so all of a sudden I could smell like this perfume. It was the most beautiful smelling perfume I've ever smelled in my life. I could not believe how beautiful this smell was. And I was like, wow, that's a nice smell. But then it all of a sudden started taking over everything in the house. I was like going in the other room. I was like, what is this smell? I'm like going to the fireplace. Is it the wood? I'm going back in the kitchen. Is it the tortilla? Like, what in the world? Where is this smell coming from? And I was like, this has to be some spirit or something. Some spirit. So we're not just surrounded by a bunch of dark ones. There's some good ones out there, and they smell good, because I don't know what I have never smelled something so, it was like the whole fucking room was just permeated with this beautiful smell. And I kept thinking, what is this smell? Why do I love it so much? And it was almost like baby powder or something. It was, oh my God, it was a delightful odor. It was so nice. And then it left and it went away. But I was like, that was weird. I remember just having so many weird things happen. So many weird things. So anyways, I've been all over the place on this one. Hopefully, I made sense to somebody. Hopefully, I've said something that can help somebody. And just remember that what we're doing here, and I'm telling you, I can't say it enough, is what you're learning how to do is learning how to love yourself, to love everyone, and how to have a loving day because it's a challenge and it's up to you. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.